Time for something a little bit different. Here are 19 reasons to read my new book. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and this is the place where I talk to you about all things Stephen King, or at least normally it is. But today I am asking you to indulge my ego just a little bit because I've just released my first proper collection of short stories. It's called Once More Around the Sun. It's available wherever you can get books right now. And I wanted to give my own treatment to this, to give you an idea of what's in store in these pages, in these stories, and hopefully convince you to maybe go and give it a shot, either in paperback or in ebook. Does that sound okay? So as I say, I'm going to do my usual 19 reasons to read treatment on my own book. It's going to be completely spoiler free. I'll talk you through all of the stories in here and some other fun behind the scenes trivia. Kind of fun anyway. Like I say, I just want to give you a flavour of what's in this book, and if you feel like going and checking it out, it's available wherever books are sold. So yes, Amazon, but also your local bookstore. You can just go in, ask them to search for my name and Once More Around the Sun, and they should find it. I will also put the ISBN in the description as well, so you can use that to help with your orders. If you are able to go and order from your local bookshop, that would be fantastic. But also, if you're limited to Amazon, that's fine as well, as long as you're picking it up and giving it a read, and then maybe giving it a rating or review. That would be hugely, hugely appreciated. So let's get on with it. Here are 19 reasons to read my brand new collection, Once More Around the Sun. So first of all, this is my first proper collection of short stories. Some of you may have read my Tiny Tales of Terror series that I released in 2023. And you remember each of those books had one normal length short story followed by 10 really, really short pieces. Well, the stories in this are all normal length short stories, and the 4 headline stories from those Tiny Tales of Terror books and the bonus one that you get for subscribing to my newsletter, they're all collected in here, but there's a bunch as well that you probably haven't read before also. So if you've liked my words in the past and you've ever thought, I wish you'd write longer stuff, well, here you go. Second, these stories are in a way linked. They are all set in and around a fictional Warwickshire town of Kingsworth. Yes, named it after Stephen King, and it's very much based on my own actual hometown of Kenilworth. So if you like your stories with a bit of British flavour, specifically Warwickshire, Midlands British, then this collection is going to be right up your alley. And if you don't know whether you like that or not, well, give it a try. You might like sticking around here. So in this book there are 13 stories. There is one set in each month of the year, with a bonus one in December as well, because it's a fun time of year to give out extra gifts. And that's why I called it Once More Around the Sun, as well as it being a nice little nod to Mastodon, who, let's face it, are banging. But also, take a moment and count the letters in Once More Around the Sun, and then come back to me, see if you notice anything. Okay, next reason, literally look at the cover. It is incredible. My friends at Rooster Republic Press did an amazing job on this cover. I'm so happy with it. It pops. It doesn't look like a typical horror book, which absolutely was what I wanted, and I've just been in love with it right from the start. I also attempted to do illustrations for each of the stories in this, and I'll show you those as we go through, and I think they came out all right as well. So if you want a lovely looking book for your shelf, this is the one. You'll notice on the back that this says Always Darkest Media. Now that is my new imprint that I have just made this year, and it's what I'm going to put out all of my stuff on going forward. So my writing, but I'm also going to use it for podcasts, merchandise. It's just going to be my thing, okay? Might even put my music out on there as well. Just my own personal imprint, and it's a personal imprint named after a palm reader song. Rest in peace, palm reader, but palm reader forever through the name of my little imprint. Thank you, please. So for the next few reasons, I'm going to dedicate one reason to each story in here, give you a little pitch for each one, and show you the illustration as well. So we start off with Start As You Mean to Go On. There's the illustration. And this one, set on New Year's Day, it's got misery vibes, but it also gets weird. And in the second draft, got scarier and much hornier as well. It's quite a fun opener. I think you'll enjoy it plenty. So second up is The Strange Phenomenon of Epping Manor, which is a found footage story about a missing supernatural podcaster, hence the illustration, and it's us watching as some detectives try to piece together what happened to that podcaster through recovered audio from their recording device. Had a lot of fun writing it, and actually recently the highly influential and very lovely Jobis89 on Instagram said that this story in particular actually freaked her out. So, mission accomplished. So third is You're Melting, which was the headline story in Tiny Tales of Terror 4, and it's still, so far at least, my favourite thing of mine that I've ever written. It's got rats in it, it's gross, and it's a lot of fun. So fourth is Time Capsule, a story about a horror author who goes back to their hometown for a special event, and things start going weird, dark, and supernatural. This one kind of builds and builds and then all goes off towards the end. And again, I had a lot of enjoyment writing this one, and the people who read this so far got some good feedback on this one, so I think you'll enjoy it too. I mean, I think you'll enjoy all of them, but hey, this one's one you haven't read before, so there's that to look forward to. So fifth up is Mirrored, which was the first story I ever had published. It's also the headline story in the bonus edition of Tiny Tales of Terror you get for signing up for my website. Chances are, if you're a fan of my work, you've probably already read this one, so I don't need to talk too much about it. It's set in a creepy hall of mirrors at a fun fair, and the imagery and the soundtrack will get under your skin, I guarantee it. So sixth is Letha, which is the headline story from Tiny Tales of Terror 3. It's scary, it's bloody, it's violent, and yeah, it's a bit of a romp to go through. It's Midsommar meets The Wicker Man with boomers. So seventh up is Anchor, which is the headline story in Tiny Tales of Terror Volume 2. It's one of the shortest ones in the collection, but it's perhaps one of the most interesting ones. It's the most experimental my writing has got so far, and it's a story that kind of straddles worlds and messes with your head a bit. It's kind of a heatwave-induced fever dream that is weird and creepy and just unnerving, and I like it a lot. So eighth is In Too Deep, which first appeared in Horoscope Volume 3 in 2023, and again was a really, really fun one to write. I remember writing it for an open call. It didn't make that call, it made the shortlist in the end, but anyway, I just had a lot of fun writing it. It's a story exploring being afraid of deep, open water, and will appeal to anyone who has that fear, will appeal to fans of Jaws, and will also appeal to fans of a particular noughties horror movie franchise I'm not going to name here because it will give away a big hook of the story or a big spin of the story, but you'll know it when you get there. And also the illustration came out pretty good, in my humble opinion anyway. So ninth is Here's Looking at You. There's a picture of an apple, that makes sense when you read the story. This is one you haven't read before, but I really think you'll dig. And basically, you know that feeling when you're in a strange house or a hotel, as is the case in this story, and there's pictures of people on the wall, paintings maybe, and you can't help but feel like their eyes are following you around the room. Yeah, that. So 10th is Halloween Special, The Hunt for Rupee K. And this is my attempt at a slasher. There's the illustration. And it features 4 really horrible, douchey YouTubers who you will love seeing get cut to shreds and eviscerated and gutted and all of those kind of things. Like I say, it's a slasher, it's set in the woods. It's just a bloody good time. And something I hadn't considered until some of the reviews started coming in, but thanks to Lauren Leendo Libros on Instagram, who described this story as Stand By Me meets Blair Witch. And that's pretty perfect. Not just perfect, spot on in fact. So thanks. Talking spots, that's the name of the 11th story. This is the headline story in Tiny Tales of Terror Volume 1. There's a chance you may well have read this. That seems to be my more popular Tiny Tales of Terror volume. It's creepy kids doing creepy things, okay? Creepy little kids as well, preschool kids. Yeah, it's fun, and it has palm reader songs in it. So long live palm reader again. So 12th in this collection is The Gift, a Christmas story that starts off all twinkly, bright, nice, sugar and spice, all of that kind of stuff, and then slowly descends into darkness, and probably is my best illustration as well. There you go. And then 13th and last is Once More Round the Sun, which is a short one to finish, and basically brings us all back to the start and back to the beginning of the year, because that is what time does, doesn't it? Isn't it? Doesn't it? Isn't it? Wasn't it? Doesn't it? Nice. So lastly, as a final reason to convince you to give this a go, I'm not going to speak any more words from me, but I'm going to use some of the words that some of my very kind and talented indie horror author peers lent in praise of this book. They read it early and they sent me some nice words about it. So Caitlin Marceau, who has been on our podcast, I think all of these guys have been on the podcast actually, but Caitlin said that my collection is quick to read, hard to put down, and will live rent-free in your head once you've finished it. Once More Around the Sun isn't just good, it's damn right compelling. Thank you very much. Spencer Hamilton says, you may know him for his love of all things Stephen King, but goddamn don't sleep on Dave Musson, the writer. Once More Around the Sun is a deft card trick of a collection, flitting from horror to heartfelt to humour and back again. His voice sings, blinds with its brilliance, then stabs. Consider me a fan. Thank you. Jason Pellegrini says that I am an obvious student of the craft, and I've applied all that I've learned to create a collection so compelling you won't be able to put it down, despite finding yourself terrified at times. Garth Jones says, genuinely unsettling, weird Albion folk horror delivered with a fiendish twinkle in the eye. I guess that's me. Thomas Gloom says that in a flurry of stories, I managed to mix beauty with brutality, love with lust, heartfelt connection with horrific catastrophe, and gentleness with gore. Stephen King would blush to know the dark creativity that his writing has inspired in me. Horror lovers take notice. Once More Around the Sun is a collection that should not be slept on, and it just might keep you turning the pages well after bedtime. And then lastly, Jamie Stewart says that I have the enviable talent of luring readers into my stories with only a few words. I get the reader to invest, then deliver a devastating emotional blow that should be criminal. Well, thank you very much. And there you go. So that's it. 19 reasons to read Once More Around the Sun, available now in paperback and ebook, wherever books are sold. If you're willing to give it a chance, I'll be forever grateful. And if you get through all of it, please leave a rating or review. Whatever rating or review, whether you like it, loathe it, or something in between, or even love it. Reviews and ratings are the lifeblood of indie authors. So if you do pick this up and you do read it, even taking a time to just write a one-sentence review and a quick rating on Goodreads and Amazon makes a huge difference. And if I'm lucky enough to have written something that you actually enjoy, then shout about it for me. The best marketing is word of mouth. So if you're happy to talk about it on social media, and as I say, leave ratings and reviews, genuinely be forever grateful. So thank you for indulging my ego in this video. There's 19 reasons to check out my collection. It's available now. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you for more Stephen King talk very soon.